In Greek mythology, there are half-human, half-beast creatures with wild beauty and overwhelming strength. But there are also those who possess a brutal nature and evil intentions. Today we tell you about Nessus, a centaur who is famous not for his heroism, but for his bloody betrayal. Nessus is a centaur, a half-human, half-horse creature born from the gods Ixion and Nephili. Most centaurs are wild by nature, living close to nature, but easily swayed by alcohol, lust, and violence. Nessus is no exception. He is rude, lustful, and especially more cunning than any of his kind. Unlike the centaurs who followed Heracles or Chiron, who were all noble, Nessus chose the path of deceit, fishing in troubled waters, and in the end, he brought disaster to a hero. And he chose for himself a career full of opportunities. Ferryman across the Evenus River, an important route for ancient Greek travelers on the winding river Evenus. A centaur in the guise of a ferryman waits. Unbeknownst to him, fate has arranged for him to meet a name known throughout Olympus: Heracles. Heracles, son of Zeus, the greatest hero of Greece, with his beautiful wife Deianeia, had just finished a tiring journey. Before them was the Evenus River, deep, swift currents. Heracles could swim, but for Deianeia, it was not easy. And then Nessus appeared. With a deep voice, he smiled. "I am the ferryman of this river. Let me carry your lady across the river. Lord Heracles, swimming must be just a pastime for you." Heracles looked at him, although he felt something strange. But in front of his normal appearance, he nodded in agreement. So, Nessus carried Deianeia into the river. Heracles stayed on the other side preparing to swim after her. But halfway across the river, Nessus's expression changed. His voice lowered, whispering to Deianeia, "Heracles does not deserve you. I will keep you for myself." A scream rang out. Heracles, without thinking, drew his bow immediately. From this side, he drew his bow, aimed straight at Nessus's back, and shot an arrow soaked in Hydra blood, the deadliest poison in the world. Nessus collapsed, blood soaking the water, but before he died, he still had time to plan another plot. A lie that would lead to the death of Heracles himself. In his agony, Nessus did not groan, did not scream. He smiled, a twisted smile, both painful and triumphant. He turned his head toward Deianeia, his young wife, trembling and frightened on the riverbank, and he whispered, Nessus's voice was low, emphasizing each word like venom dripping into Deianeia's mind. "My lady, my blood has magic. It is a love charm that holds men's hearts. If one day you fear Heracles will leave you, just soak my blood on his shirt, and he will be able to love no one but you forever." Deianeia's eyes were filled with confusion and doubt, but she was standing before a dying creature, Why would he lie? In that moment, she did not know that the blood was blood mixed with Hydra poison, blood that killed anyone who touched it. And Nessus knew it. He no longer needed to live to seek revenge, only to sow lies, to sow the seeds of destruction. Nessus breathed his last. His lips were still curled in a smile. His hand fell limp, the last drops of blood dripping into the ground. He died, but the poison lived on. Not just the poison of the body, but the poison of the mind. And Deianaria, with love mixed with fear, kept that love charm as if it were a treasure. She did not know that in her own hands she was holding the instrument of Heracles' final tragedy. Scene. Deianaria kneels beside Nessus's body. Her hair is disheveled, her face is pale. The river wind is fierce. The scene seems to be silent, listening to a fateful decision. As a wife, she always knew that Heracles' heart was as vast as the sky and as adventurous as the wind. She loved him, but in that love there was a small crack called the fear of loss. And then Nessus's last whisper was like a flame lit on the cold ashes. If you fear losing him, keep this drop of blood. It will keep Heracles' heart forever with you. And then Nessus's last whisper was like a flame lit on the cold ashes. If you fear losing him, keep this drop of blood. It will keep Heracles' heart forever with you. She did not understand poison. She did not think that a dying creature could be so cruel. In the turmoil of her emotions, she did not realize that she had just become the keeper of the seeds of death. A piece of blood-stained handkerchief, a small bottle carefully hidden in her pocket, seemingly harmless, but in fact, the seeds of a mythical tragedy. At the end of every legend, there is not victory, but a price. Heracles, son of Zeus, who completed the 12 great labors, fought the most fearsome monsters, but what ended him was not those things. It was a small wound and a lie. After marrying she couldn't help but think, does he still love me? Is there a goddess out there who has stolen his heart? It was in that state of mind that she remembered the last words of a creature she had once believed harmless. Nessus. My lady, my blood is a love potion. If you fear losing him, rub my blood on the cloak he wears, and love will never leave you. Deianaria kept his blood as a protection at the time, but over time it became an obsession and a last hope in jealous suspicion. One day, Heracles set out again. Before he left, Deianaria quietly smeared the terrible liquid on the cloak she had sent with him. She did not want to harm him. She only wanted to keep him. But Nessus had already sown death in every drop of blood. The Hydra's poison, once deadly to monsters, now seeped into Heracles' divine body. Nothing could wash it away. No magic could stop it. His skin burned. His blood boiled. The pain was like 1,000 knives stabbing him from the inside out. As a hero, Heracles did not beg nor run. But for the first time, he could not overcome the pain. Build a pyre. I want to die like a warrior, without a whimper, without submission. When she learned the truth, Deianira could not believe that she had killed her husband. She had never wanted it. But Nessus's lies had turned her into an instrument of destruction. It is a double tragedy. One dies of love, one dies of deception, and all is the final plan of a vengeful Centaur. But Heracles was more than just a man. He was the son of Zeus. And when the fire had consumed his mortal body, he was taken to Mount Olympus, where he became an immortal god. Tragedy does not end in death, but in rebirth. But the story of Nessus, Deianira, and Heracles remains a lesson about trust, jealousy, and the consequences of seemingly harmless lies. If you like these deep and tragic Greek myths, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video.